Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I have got a couple of things I want to show you, and then I have another beaded tutorial that I want to do for you. I've been seeing quite a few of these needle keeps or needle books that different ones have made, and I wanted to show you mine. Mine is well loved. I've had it for a few years. I don't remember how many years, but I made it out of upholstery fabric, and I stitched on seed beads and sequins and bugle beads, put some lace. I put a hair tie. I just put this to kind of cover the back of my hair tie, and I've got a little button there. So here is my, you can see it's raveling. Here is my messy needle keep, but it works. I love it. It's just, it really does the job. So I just put some, I die cut out some wool flowers and things, and I stitched them in here. I put a little iron button here. I've got some extra pins hanging here, and you can see the mess. I just got needles. I used to have it all lined up so pretty, but like I said, this one's well loved. Here's a little wooden button sewing machine and some snaps, and then back there I've got a little bit of some thread. Here's some special needles. I've got a little bit of a measuring tape just for looks. It's not really serving much of a purpose. There's a little flower I stitched on and some more needles. I got a little pocket here which you can stick your needles into that pocket, and I did some fancy stitching on my sewing machine. Okay, on this one I have behind here is some more embroidery thread and just a little pocket. There's a little wooden pair of scissors. It's so cute. Okay, now here's some pretty pins, some more fancy stitching around the edges, some buttons, some snaps in that little pocket, a little wooden thimble, and then here's my needle threader, which I can see it's actually broken, but I have it pinned in so it doesn't fall out. I'll have to put another one there because that one's broke. Okay, anyway, moving right along. I want to show you some of my beads that I have been making, and I just put them on my Etsy shop, so now all I have to do is go and package them all. But I want to show you, I'm calling these Boho Beaded Dangles, and I'm telling you, they are so much fun to make. I hope you can see that crystal in there. That's a AB crystal, Swarovski. Beautiful crystals. So I just thought I would just come on and just quickly, before I start the tutorial, I want to show you some of these beads that I have been making. These would make great journal embellishments for the spines of your journal, the front of your journal, the page, your purse. Look, this has a little Eiffel Tower on it. It's so cute. Keychains, etc., etc. This one has little blue shells and this giant crystal. I'm telling you, this thing, oh, I hope you can see how pretty that crystal is. Gorgeous. This one has a red pearl. I just think that is so pretty, and it has some wire wrapping work on it. And let's see, here we have copper. Maybe it looks better down here. Little copper dangles. I love copper. That's one of my favorite colors, or rose gold, to work with. Look at this gold ball. It's got two little dangles at the bottom. This is another one of those giant crystals that are so multifaceted. Absolutely gorgeous. And then here is some rose gold and some yellow gold together, and the little dangle here has a crystal in the middle. And this one is coppers again, has this little copper bird dangle. I think he's so precious, and the little copper crystals. And this guy, I love that little spacer. I just think that is so cool. Turquoise with red and some copper, and check out that tassel. Do you love those? I think that is so awesome. And oh gosh, we got to have starfish. Y'all know I live on the Gulf Coast. I love anything to do with the beach. So here we have some starfish dangle, crystal rondelles, so pretty. And looky, looky, looky. I said, that is just too darling. It almost looks like a person. It wasn't supposed to have arms. These are supposed to be the part, like the leaves coming off the pumpkin. But how cute is that? Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let me move all my goodies. I got to go package those up and get them ready to go. We are going to make a new style of a beaded bead. So I have 2 beading needles today. I found out I was using size 13 beading needles, and I was really struggling to thread my needles, really struggling, I can't tell you. And I found out size 10. Ooh, much better, much better. Size 10. They're bigger, but it still goes through seed beads. It works great. So for this particular pattern, you are going to need 4 6mm beads. I chose glass pearls. And you're going to need 8 4mm bicones. Now, you can use other things and other sizes, but it won't work as good. Ask me how I know. Okay, we are going to thread on one of the needles, one of the large 6mm, one of the 4mm. Take your other needle and thread on one of the 4mm bicones. Now, you are going to be working with 2 needles, so it gets a little fiddly, but I'm telling you, this pattern is pretty easy. I think anybody can do this one. This is not hard. Now, take one of your needles, go in another 6mm. Come here, you. All right, and pull it down so it's down at the bottom. So I just went through with this needle. So now I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to cross back through that bead in the opposite direction. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so my needle came through the bead this way. So this one's going to go back through the bead the opposite way. And I'm doing this with my left hand, so I apologize in advance. What you're doing is you're creating a circle. Now push that bead down. All right, so I take my 2 needles together and I kind of push my beads down so that my strings stay fairly even. All right, so here's what you've got so far. That's what it should look like. All right, so you've got 2 6mm and 2 4mm. Pull that tight. Okay, and just as simple as this, we're going to add another 4 on this side. We're going to add a 4 on this side. And we're going to do this every time. And then we're going to add a 6. So, and not on both sides, just 1 6. A 4 on each side and 1 6. Pull it down. Whichever needle went through the 6, which is this one, come back a little bit. Whoops. We're going to take the other needle. We're going to go back through that 6 just like we did a minute ago. Taking both needles, and I just kind of put my finger in the middle here and just kind of pull those down. Y'all excuse my boboed hands. I got bobos everywhere. I have been cleaning a camper. We are purchasing a camper that belonged to my dad, and y'all know my dad just recently passed away, and I miss him terribly. But he had a very nice camper, and we were going to fix it up and sell it. Well, we love to camp, and his camper is nicer than the one I had, so we're purchasing Daddy's camper. And Daddy was not a housekeeper, and he wouldn't let anybody else clean, because if you clean, then you move things, and he can't find them. It's a long story. Anyway, it has needed some serious cleaning. All right, so we're continuing with the same thing we've been doing, okay? Now, when we get to the end, we've got 2 4mm bicones left. That's all we've got left. So I'm going to put 1 on each needle. 1 on each needle. All right, and we're going to pull those down. Now, we don't have another 6. We've already used all of our 6s. So what we want to do is take these 2 needles through the very first 6mm bead we started with. I realize we're over here, and that's going to pull this into a circle, which is just what you want. So whichever, see, here we go with 2 needles. This is what you got to deal with sometimes. Whichever way, okay, so this needle is coming out of this bicone, all right? I want to go into that 6 from the if you're coming out this way, you want to go in that way. All right, so I'm going into that very first 6 that we put on. The other needle, of course, is twisted again. The other needle is coming out this end, so we want to go in the opposite way, okay? So you always go into the 6s in opposite directions, all right? So one needle goes this way, one needle goes that way, and they cross. Now, if you pull that, and if you did it correctly, you've got a cute little circle bead already. Look at that. Isn't that precious? All right, now you can take one needle and kind of move him back out of the way. All right, now we're going to take our other needle. Focus, camera, focus. We're going to work on this one side at a time. All right, so we're going to, here's where my thread's coming out, that 6mm bicone. I'm going, 6mm pearl. I'm going to go into the first bicone with my needle, and very simple, pick up a seed bead. And these are, I'm going to say size 10 seed beads. I'm not positive. So I went into a bicone, I added a seed bead, I'm going into another bicone. And what we're doing, we're just pulling this circle of bicones closed. And if it gets loosey-goosey on you, just tighten it up a little, so that you can actually see what you're doing. So you want to kind of keep those 4 that you're working on facing up. Keep them facing you if you can. All right, do the same thing 4 times. Another seed bead into the next bicone. Okay, add a seed bead or shoot it across the table like I just did. Did you hear that? It went flying across the table. And add one more seed bead into the next bicone. So you've got 4 bicones already there. We just put a seed bead in between all 4. Okay, let's pull, squish around, and try to get that tight. Now, all you're going to do is go through that again. So go back through the first seed bead that you added, or try to, and a bicone. A seed and a bicone. Okay, into the next seed, and whoa, 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 whoa. I almost went into the pearl. I got confused for a second. Okay, which is not hard for me to do. Into a seed, into a bicone. All right, look, you get back down there and stay where you're supposed to stay. Into a seed. I love doing these things. I love making beads, but it just really does a number on my hand. I get carpal tunnel symptoms, or and my fingers start tingling and going numb on me. I've been sleeping in my brace at night, but okay, so we're just continuing to go. So I went around one good time. According to how loose it feels, you can just keep going as many times as you need to go. Doesn't matter. As long as you've got room to go. Again, you know. All right, I'm going to say that's good. So I'm going to try to pull that kind of tight if I can. Now we're going to flip the bead over, and we're going to do the same thing with the other needle on the other side. So here we are. Here's the side we just did. Flip it over, and it's trying to get loosey-goosey, so we're just going to tighten it up. And I'm just kind of holding that. I'm trying to keep it tight. And now we are going to, if I can, move this needle out of our way. All right, so let's add a seed bead. Where am I at? There I am. and go through a bicone. Okay, add a seed bead through the 4mm bicone. A seed and a bicone, and my hand is just a-tingling again. Ugh, do y'all have that problem? Maybe somebody knows what I can do other than wear the brace. It still does it, even if I'm beading with a brace on. And it's going to have to stop because I must make pretty things. It's too fun. Okay, so I went all the way around. I added a seed bead in between each bicone. Now I'm going back into the seed and a bicone. I'm just tightening it up now. Back into a seed and a bicone. Oh, and another seed. Good. All right. Back into the bicone. Come on. And back into a seed. Okay, so we got it pretty tight. Okay, not so hard, huh? Okay, now, so this is a simplified version of a beaded bead, and pretty much you're done. I mean, all you got to do now is go around and tighten it up and tack it, you know, do your little knots. If you want to, you can bring your strings together and tie them together in a knot. But I have found out that when I do that, sometimes that knot is a little bit bigger than I want it to be, and I don't want it to be visible. So here's how I tack. I pull it through, go back through the loop, pull it down almost all the way, and go back through that loop again, and then pull. And I forgot to tell you, I'm still using Wildfire. I love this stuff. It's expensive, but it's cheaper at Hobby Lobby than it is at Joann's. And then I bought a big one on Amazon that I got even better. And I started with about 36 inches. I apologize. I forgot to tell you that at the beginning of the video. And really, you can see I have quite a bit left over. So for this small bead, you really don't even have to have 36 inches. I mean, I would say 30 would have been a plenty. Now, what I did is I tacked it, and then I'm just going around. The more times you go around, the more you strengthen it. And I'm going to say that side's done. So all I'm going to do here is the same thing. I'm going to tack, I'm going to go around a few times, and then I would call this right side up. So this, you're looking at the side of the bead. So I would load it this way on my head pins and such, and just make a gorgeous bead out of it. Now, like I said, this is one variation, and I have another one coming really soon that you're absolutely going to love. If you know how to do this, you'll love the other one. So start with this one. It's real simple. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.